It really is never truly over with the New Orleans Saints, is it? Like, it's almost that every single time I expect things to be over, I should know better by now that they're not over. This team does not quit until they have to. And today they proved that they didn't have to. The New Orleans Saints traded a 2021 sixth-round pick to the Houston Texans to get the 248th overall pick in this year's draft to draft quarterback Tommy Stevens. I'm happy with this pick. First of all, I'd like to explain why this video took 3 hours extra from when the pick even was announced to even scratch the surface of the internet. So I made a foolish mistake, and the foolish mistake was believing that the New Orleans Saints weren't going to trade back into the 2020 NFL Draft. I was pretty stern that we weren't going to do it because Sean Payton already commented about going and gunning hard towards undrafted free agency, which they have done. There has been so many, there's 11 or 12 signings right now that have happened that I can't even cover today. I'll be covering in a video tomorrow, the first undrafted free agency tracker, but oh my God. I assumed he would have just left the draft out, been done with it, moved forward, and just started checking out undrafted free agency. But he decided to check out undrafted free agency and trade back into the 2020 NFL Draft to draft what we all thought we were going to get at some point, a quarterback. And Tommy Stevens isn't an ordinary quarterback. He's more than that. He can do so many things. Hell, the New Orleans Saints, Sean Payton literally asked Tommy Stevens to send him videos of him running routes. Sean Payton wanted videos of this quarterback running routes. That is how dynamic he is. A week after the New Orleans Tommy Stevens got dubbed the next Taysom Hill with his draft profile, Sean Payton and company have jumped the gun. Let's go ahead and get into this pick because, good Lord, is it an interesting one. And I'm actually really happy with the selection because it's good to see that the New Orleans Saints have got a quarterback. As we all know, we only have 2 quarterbacks on the roster, that being Drew Brees and Taysom Hill. So adding a third guy is extremely important in case one of those guys goes down because we're going to need it if that does happen. So Stevens ran 76 times for 506 yards and 8 touchdowns while hauling in 14 passes for 62 yards and 2 touchdowns at Penn State. He got back behind center as a player that played quarterback instead of rushing and catching passes when he transferred to Mississippi State during his last year of eligibility. But the season really didn't go as planned at like what he wanted it to do because he was battling injuries. Stevens battled injuries for the most part of the year. He completed 97 of 161 pass attempts, a 60.2 completion percentage for 1,115 yards with 11 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. He also ran the ball 83 times for 381 yards and 4 touchdowns. So he was doing his job through the air and on the ground. The passing numbers were impressive, the passing numbers were impressive, especially because this was the first time we have ever seen Tommy Stevens as any kind of starter. His first year starting at quarterback in college, he threw 60.2% completion percentage with 1,115 yards, with 11 touchdowns and 5 interceptions while battling injury. Also rushed for 381 yards and 4 touchdowns. That is extremely impressive. A guy with his first couple of games that he started doing some work like that is absolutely amazing. Tommy Stevens definitely has shown some potential and probably would have had a great year last year for Mississippi State if he didn't battle those injuries. Stevens ended up losing his starting job for a few games in the middle of the year, but he took it back towards the end of the year. Stevens' last collegiate game in his college career was a 38-28 Music City Bowl loss to Louisville. He completed 17 out of 26 throws for 221 yards and 2 touchdowns in the defeat. He also ran 17 times for 71 yards and another touchdown. If you could tell by the score, 38-28, he did all he could. He threw 2 touchdowns and ran for a touchdown. That adds up to 28 points. This dude did everything in that game to make sure that his team had a chance to win, but the defense, you're not going to win if your defense allows 38 points. That's that. Like I said, the Saints gave up gave the Texans a future 6th round 2021 draft pick. The Saints are reportedly planning on having Taysom Hill take over for Drew Brees, and Stevens could possibly take over for Taysom Hill. He's a similar type of Swiss Army knife player who reportedly impressed scouts in workouts earlier this offseason. Stevens entered Penn State as a highly recruited passer, but got blocked on the depth chart behind Trace McSorley. So this dude not only is a quarterback, he had scheduled workouts at the combine for wide receiver and running back, which is absolutely insane. I think the Saints are going to have fun with this guy. We've seen what they've done with Taysom Hill. Like I said, this team has created a whole new brand of player. They weren't the first to do it, but they've done the best with it, and that is the unicorn player, the Swiss Army knife, the player that can go out there and do whatever they need to get this team a chance to win. And I could tell you guys, this dude could be a potential another weapon for Drew Brees and could cause a lot of confusion to NFL defenses with him pairing up with Taysom Hill. I really don't know how else to put the fact that this is a straight up dangerous pick, not just because the fact that he can play quarterback. You can put him in at wildcat, you can put him in at wide receiver, you can put him in at tight end, you can put him in at, hell, running back every once in a while. This dude is just like a little baby Taysom Hill. He can do it all. I'm extremely happy with this pick. I'm happy that the New Orleans Saints went and got a quarterback because we all know it was extremely needed. We needed to get a quarterback because, like I said, the depth chart is just not having it. So 6'5", 235, Tommy Stevens out of Mississippi State was a fantastic route to go. So I'm curious, and I don't quite know this. I want to know what his 40-yard dash time was because I don't. Okay, so the former Indiana high school standout entered Penn State with a sub 4.7 40-yard dash speed. Okay, but he improved it. Wow. Okay, so he ran a 4.5. This is insane. Yeah, I think Sean Payton is going to have a lot of fun with this dude because he is a straight up baller that can do anything. Stevens transferred from Penn State after functioning as the team's lion on certain packages to join the Mississippi State Bulldogs as a fifth-year senior ahead of last season. This dude, he can do anything you want him to. And that scares me. Because I've seen how much Taysom Hill can do. This dude compares so perfectly with Taysom. He can do just as much. If he puts on some muscle, I probably wouldn't be able to tell the difference. So the New Orleans Saints at 240 overall. I was wrong about our draft class being Cesar Ruiz. Wow, I'm drawing a blank. Zach Bond and oh god, I'm drawing another blank. God, what was his name? That tight end. Oh my goodness, I straight up forgot. Adam Trotman. So it wasn't just Cesar Ruiz, Zach Bond, and Adam Trotman. We actually traded back into the 7th round and drafted Tommy Stevens at 240 overall. It is not often that a 7th round quarterback ever becomes a starter or even sniffs the field, but I think this dude can do a lot on special teams and even as a wide receiver, running back, or a wildcat quarterback. He stated already that he sees himself as more of a quarterback than anything else. He really thinks that those are his roots and that's the position he was born to play. But he said that he will do whatever he needs to give this team the best chance to win, and that is the exact mindset I'm looking forward to. He said that he's fully healthy. Those injuries he was battling in 2019 are no longer there. He's 100% healthy, ready to come in and make a difference. No matter how subtle it is, he's ready to come in, anchor down, and become another Swiss Army knife. The Saints have been absolutely destroying this draft. I don't even know how else to put it. We've been doing great. So along with Tommy Stevens, Adam Trotman, God, it's such a hard last name to remember, Zach Bond and Cesar Ruiz, the New Orleans Saints have signed 11 undrafted free agents, maybe even 12 up to this point. I will be covering those tomorrow in an undrafted free agent tracker episode 1. So if you guys want to, see that and are looking forward to that, go ahead and click the notification bell so that you won't miss it because it will be dropping like what's a good analogy for it? Like it'll be dropping like a bad habit. I've heard that one before. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm sorry, again, it was late. I really tried to make sure to put this out, at a reasonable time, but it's whatever. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to tune in tomorrow for that undrafted free agent tracker video because that's something I'm excited to make. Thank you guys so much for watching for the 4th time, and I'll see you boys tomorrow. Adios.